Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to uncover the reasons why planes avoid the Pacific Ocean. There are oddly very few airline routes that cross the Pacific Ocean. You may have noticed this fact if you've ever planned a vacation to a location across the Pacific, or if you're planning to, soon. The most sensible course of action in many situations would be to fly over the Pacific Ocean, but many aircraft appear to make a concerted effort to avoid it entirely, and in this video we'll count down the reasons as to why they do so. But before we dive deep into the further deets about these unrevealed reasons, subscribe to our channel if you are new here, so that you can always keep in touch with more information on the subjects you are inquisitive about, and join the Deet family. Now let's take a flight off to know the reason why planes don't fly over the Pacific Ocean. Most planes do not cover the distance over the Pacific in order to save time, fuel, decrease distance, and for safety reasons. Even though it may come as a surprise to many, but the Earth is in fact curved, and because of that fact all the flight routes are not accurately portrayed on the flat surface of a map, and the distance might differ in real time. Number 6. Difference between the displayed distance on map and distance covered in real life. Whenever we want to look up for a place or find a new restaurant to dine in, we switch on our maps, find the location, the time to cover the distance, and set into drive there. We humans are really grateful for maps and how easily they are able to assist us in determining the distance between two different places or two different locations. Not only are they easily accessible, but also easy to understand. From paper map to maps on our phones, we can know the direction of any location we want to. But this useful device is not limited to just positive facts. It has one big flaw: the accuracy of measurement and distance. Map is a two-dimensional object which doesn't take the curved routes into consideration. Additionally, the formation of the planet makes it difficult for measurements to be accurately interpreted when they are depicted on a map. As a result, the distance between two locations might vary by tens to thousands of miles. Not really sustainable now, is it? Before we move on to the next reason, comment down below if you are able to read the maps easily, or are you a person with a bad sense of direction, just like me? Number 5. Cost and time savings. The airlines must determine the least expensive and most efficient route to each destination because they are businesses that exist to earn a profit. Shortening the journey time and cost for the airline not only helps consumers afford to travel, but it also helps the airline save money overall. There are various factors that are taken into consideration when determining the best possible route, but most important of all of them are fuel cost and time. Travelers prefer to spend as little time as possible on the plane, often considering the shortest routes when purchasing tickets, and therefore airlines usually prefer the flights with the shortest possible course for their passengers and tend to avoid the Pacific. Number 4. Safety. Life is by definition a risk. You encounter a wide range of situations every day that could be harmful to your health. There is a possibility that you could trip and fall when you go down the stairs, hurt yourself whether you are at the field or in the kitchen. The largest and deepest of Earth's 5 marine regions, the Pacific Ocean, is how you would feel if you were to fly over it. Even though flying is one of the safest modes of transportation thanks to advances in contemporary technology, there are many important factors that the airline must take into account while choosing a route. Despite being the biggest and deepest ocean in the world, the Pacific Ocean isn't always the best option. Engine failure, unknown incidents with the machinery, incidents with birds, anything can happen at any time. And that's the reason why most itineraries choose to include as many airports as possible so that in the scenario of an emergency, the airplane can land safely without the need for risky interventions. Number 3. Weather patterns. Even while most aircraft try to spend as little time over water as possible, storms don't always cooperate. A plane can frequently simply fly above the storm to escape turbulence. However, as commercial aircraft can only fly at altitudes of 30,000 feet or less, and some take off from heights over 60,000 feet, that option is not feasible. Most of the time, a pilot will not elect to fly into a storm. Turbulence is anticipated to be caused by high winds, which will make passengers uncomfortable and anxious. Turbulence can be incredibly frightening, as anyone who has ever experienced it can attest. Sometimes the best course of action in these situations is to fly above the water. The majority of turbulence is produced when hot air and cooler air collide. These situations are less likely because water tends to evenly disperse heat, whereas land tends to retain heat. Number 2. Scarcity of navigation radar service. The Pacific region sparsely supports the navigation radar service and can lead to the pilots facing difficulties in establishing a connection with the ground. Radar technology, which is generally used by air traffic controllers to track aircraft, is only effective up to 200 miles offshore. Commercial aircraft are normally outside the radar's detection range after flying more than 200 miles over the ocean. In cases of any emergency, the pilot will not be able to seek any help due to poor navigation radar service. So the pilots find it better to opt for alternatives instead of flying over the Pacific Ocean. A little piece of advice here. Would you like to utilize the extra time on your hands? Subscribe to our channel and press on the little bell icon to keep yourself updated with videos on topics you might be curious about. And number 1. Air turbulence. In the regions of the ocean, microscale turbulence can be generated by surface winds, air-sea cooling, or evaporation. The weather over the Pacific Ocean is often turbulent, and there are many thunderstorms in parts of the Pacific, so it's not a safe environment to fly a plane. If commercial airplanes fly over the Pacific Ocean, then they have to overcome the weather-related disturbances and turbulence. All these abnormalities affect the speed of airplanes, and even the passengers may face discomfort. So, that's all for this video. You now know the different factors that might affect the aviation and why many of them avoid flying over the Pacific. If you loved it and found all the new uncovered reasons fascinating, make sure to subscribe to our channel before you leave so that we can fill you up on various other such informational videos and keep you and your inquisitive brain updated. Also, comment down below on the topics you guys might be interested in and would like to watch informational and detailed videos on. See you guys in the next video.